Windwalker. We already had our talents picked out, so we don't need to go over the general tree.
No,
Um,
yeah.
so calming presence. Now, are we gonna take Tiger Lust for?
If we just quickly, I can quickly go through like, the glass tree.
Yeah, let's go through it real quick. We don't need to go into each different ability, but yeah, as far as what would you pick for Windwalker? Because I know this is your forte.
Rise on kick, tires lust, paralysis, reduce cooldown paralysis, disable, detox, calming presence, vivify healing for sure, vivacious vivification as well, into transcendence, spearhand strike, fast feet, ring of peace, diffuse magic, dampen harm, touch of death, fortifying brew as well, and I'll probably just get the reduced cooldown. Um, expel harm. What else?
Now,
Escape from reality.
do we want to grab the Ferocity of Zuin?
Oh yes, I forgot that. Yes, 2 points for sure.
Yeah.
And then resonating fist, whatever that does, we'll see soon. But we want 2 points in the next. We want to get some of the white tiger statue for sure for Mythic Plus.
Hang on, where's this one at?
Which one? Seven white tiger statue.
Resonating Fist. Where's that?
It's the one middle tree, second last.
Middle tree, second left. I'm not seeing it.
If you look at the three at the bottom, the middle one, right above that.
Oh, okay. So how did you get to that one? Fatal Touch?
I haven't put Infield Touch yet. I went Escape from Reality,
Escape from Reality? Okay,
but
I got you. Okay, now I see.
I definitely put points into Failed Touch though, especially for Mythic Plus.
Okay, and then Resonant Fist, you said, and then Summon White Tiger. Alright, so now we got
Yes,
4 points left to spend, right?
I have two.
So did you already put your points in Fatal Touch?
Yes.
Alright, so now I'm down to 2.
All right, now, um,
Eye of the Tiger, is that one that we would get?
I'm trying to debate on whether to get it. I'm kind of thinking if how the rolls work, if we get 3 or 4, I might go into Soothing Mist just to get roll. To be honest.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's just do that for now then.
Yeah.
And then we can go over the Windwalker tree.
The
So
monk tree.
the very first one
Yeah.
is Fist of Fury, one of my favorite abilities in the game, not gonna lie. It's a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
like that you can move while you're casting it. It's so Fist of Fury to me is I beam improved. Because I beam, you cast it and then you're wherever way you're facing is where it's gonna shoot it towards. You can move around, but how many times as a demon hunter have Tech can attest to this too, because he's been playing Havoc for a while. So often you go, all right, cast I beam, and then boom, a mechanic pops up underneath you that you have to get away from, or else you die, and you have to interrupt your I beam to get away from it. Or
Yeah.
the tank, has to kite and pulls the ads out of range of your I beam. Fist of Fury is just I beam, but you can move while casting it.
Yeah.
So I love Fist of Fury. It's one of my favorite abilities. It's my main reason for liking Windwalker Monk.
Yeah.
Obviously, gonna get that one because it's important. On the left side, we got Touch of Karma. What does that do?
Touch of Karma is like how it is in live. You get a shield for 50% of your maximum health, and redirect 70% of the damage that it takes back at the person that was attacking you for over 6 seconds. That's a must. Do you want it for PvP, PvE, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Ascension, you want for sure as well. That's what you run on live
Right.
for Mythic Plus and rating. Now new is Power Strikes. I don't know if it's new. Check. You can get. Yeah, I don't see it anymore.
So every 15 seconds, your next Tiger Palm will generate 1 additional chi and deal 100% additional damage.
Yeah.
I mean, from a rating perspective, I think that could have some value. I just don't know that Mythic Plus. I mean, you're gonna use it. You're gonna get it like twice, maybe 3 times every pull. I don't know that
Yeah.
that's really worth it. It's a single target ability. I definitely prefer Ascension over that. Ascension, energy regeneration increase, maximum energy increase, maximum chi increase, definitely better in my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
for Mythic Plus at least.
The only thing you miss out on power strikes if you go down one is the open palm strikes. So when Fist of Fury deals damage, there's a 5% chance to refund one chi and deals additional damage. I don't know how much damage is gonna be additional. Like 500 is not a lot at all.
Well, it
Um,
depends on what kind of scaling we see.
yeah,
For when like again, this is stuff where if we actually have our access, we'd be able to see, exactly how it feels, how it plays out. But yeah, I think for now, I mean, I think it's got potential. It also, if I'm reading that right, it says it requires level 70. Why do you have a talent that you can get at level 15 but you can't use it till level 70? That doesn't make sense. So either that's a mistake or that's just weird.
yeah. Um, so some really big talents I'm glad to see come back are on the right hand side of the tree, which is unfortunate because Bone Dust Brew is on the left side of the tree. But you'll see in a second what's what, I guess.
Ooh,
I don't go for Feathers of 100 Flocks because spinning crank kick race but 15%. Just meh.
gotcha.
You can get to Mark of the Crane without getting it, and so I don't see the point in getting it. 15% is not that much. You're already going
Yeah,
to be in
the
melee range using it, and you'll be fine.
yeah, the only thing it might help you get one or two extra targets. But yeah, if it's
Possibly, yeah.
so it looks like Mark of the Crane is your spinning crane kick, right?
Yeah.
So I was gonna say
Actually, I
so,
don't even know if
but
that's
if
good anymore
but if
either.
spinning crane, well, here's the thing. So spinning crane kicks damage is reduced beyond 5 targets anyway. So chances are, any targets you get with that feathers of 100 flocks, they're getting reduced damage anyway. So is it really? I don't. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know that it necessarily is worth it.
Yeah, I thought Mark of the Crane was actually Dance with Chi, but I was wrong. Dance with Chi is like, we'll get down to it here in a second, but that's the
Okay.
one that increases damage by 200%. Like the one I'm talking about when I'm
Yeah,
using
yeah.
World
Dance
Mythic.
Chi
I'm
is
like,
really strong. Yes.
I need those procs to do big AoE
Yep.
damage. That's what I'm
Yep.
talking about. Um, so you want Flying Serpent Kick because that's just mobility right there. Flashing Fist for increased fist and fairy damage for 20%.
I think you're getting that one from a Mythic Plus perspective because Fist of Fury is one of your top damaging abilities.
Yeah, and it's really good PvP too. Now it goes down to the next tree. I don't know. Like we need to spend
Now you said you would get Flying
more
Serpent
points.
Kick.
Yes.
I don't feel like for Mythic Plus it's necessarily great. PvP definitely, movement's always good, but I don't know if in Mythic Plus, especially if we're getting the extra charges of roll, I don't think that I would go with Flying Serpent Kick
Hmm.
because it doesn't do much damage. It does 8% of your attack power. It does not do much damage at all. It's just a movement
Right.
ability. And
Fair enough.
anything else that you want, you can get to without taking it.
Yeah.
That's just something for me. Now again, I think it's something where sure, if we have extra talents, I would maybe take it, but I would so like for example, I would rather take Touch of the Tiger over Flying Serpent Kick if I have extra talents to spend.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I put a point out of Fly Serpent Kick. We're talking Mythic Plus right now, so I'll get rid of that. Yeah. Um.
Yeah,
We
and
have to get.
again, like if you're talking PvP, I agree 100%. Flying Serpent Kick is a must get.
Okay. So we need 3 points. Gale Burst opens up the next set. We want that for sure. It's increasing the damage touch to death 10% and all the damage dealt to target during the duration.
All
When I
right.
say duration, I'm curious to know if they're like how it was in BFA, where you put touch of death on and then it builds and wraps up damage and then blows up, or if it's an execute. I don't know.
Well,
I'm
so what we have right here, Touch of Death, can be used on targets with less than 15% health remaining. dealing 35% of your maximum health and damage. So that's just the rank 2, and it's definitely a... here we go. Down here, class abilities, Touch of Death, 3-minute cooldown. As a Windwalker, exploit the enemy's target weakest point, instantly killing creatures if they have less health than you. Only use built-in abilities that have less health than you. Deals damage equal to 35% of your maximum health against players and stronger creatures under 15% health. For Windwalker, it says it spawns 3 chi spheres, granting 1 chi when you walk through them. And this is the duration part. It increases the monk's physical damage by 15% for 10 seconds. So that's probably the duration that it's talking about.
Okay.
So increases the damage done by Death of Dutch by 10% of all damage you dealt to the target during the duration. So I think I know what you're talking about, because the way that Touch of Death has worked is when it, like, you use it and then all the damage that you do over 10 seconds gets applied all at once, correct?
Not sure. Actually, not sure.
Or is that... No, Touch of Karma is the damage that you take. I felt
Yes.
like in the past, Touch of Death worked where, like, you cast it, and then for 10 seconds, whatever damage you did during those 10 seconds, at the end of the 10 seconds, it would deal all that damage that you did over 10 seconds to the target at the end of those 10 seconds.
Yeah. That's how it was in BFA.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But
or
this...
Legion or something. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, we got 2 points to spend. I'm gonna go from Flashing Fist down to the right and pick up Glory of the Dawn.
All right.
Unless you get back.
And what does that do? Rising Sun Kick has a 25% chance to trigger a second time. Yep, I agree with that. Especially good for single target.
Yeah. And personally, instead of going to Touch the Tiger, I put it into Power Strikes.
Instead
To be
of
honest,
Touch of the Tiger.
because Tiger Pump's damage is just meh. It's just a cheap builder.
Gotcha. So where are you putting your next one?
Power Strikes, which
Power
is to the
Strikes.
right,
Gotcha. Okay.
to unlock Open Palm Strikes in case you have points to spend later.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. In charge of the next row. On the far left, you have Shadow Boxing Treads. Blacker kicks damage group of 50%. Strikes an additional 2 targets. That was in the Brewmaster 3 as well.
Which one are you at now?
Shadow Boxing Treads.
All right, I got you.
Right below 8 required.
Yep.
That was the Brewmaster ability. I mean, it's good, but we don't really spec that far into this left part of the tree so far, so I don't know if we'll even get it. I'm not sure. This next one, his scheme's in here too, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because I don't
dealing damage with Black Kick, increases damage next K Smash.
Let's see. I don't feel like you have Keg Smash.
I don't think you have it because it wasn't a talent. And it was a talent for Brewmaster to pick it. It was the #1 talent. So
Yeah,
I don't see.
it looks like it's a specifically that's not listed as a spec ability for Windwalker. So I don't. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know why that's even here.
Yeah, so I wouldn't build into it. There's nothing. We don't know for sure, you know.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the middle and the right half then. So you got choose one: Storm, Earth, and Fire, and Serenity. Now, Storm, Earth, and Fire have 2 charges, which made it better than Serenity. Because you could just like pop your things, 2 charges at a minute and a half recharge. That was strong. Serenity's the same cooldown, only 1 charge, but increases the damage deal by 20%, and everything's free to use, like all of your abilities. You can spam your abilities. I personally hope Serenity is the way to go, because I do not like Storm, Earth, and Fire.
Really, I like Storm with Fire a lot. But I can see.
I mean,
So Serenity,
strong.
the issue, the thing with Serenity that I see that makes me interested is the chi consumers are free and 100% cooldown 100% more quickly. So my question is, and this is where Blizzard's verbiage is always confusing. Uh, what do they mean by cooldown 100% more quickly? Does that mean that it cools down 2 seconds
So
worth every second, or does it mean there is no cooldown?
no, it means so if you have a 6-second cooldown, it's now 3 seconds.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering. Um,
Which
now
is nice
that
because Rising Sun Kick's 8-second cooldown, so you can get every 4 seconds. So you can get 3 Rising Sun
okay,
Kicks
but now
off in one
here's the thing:
sprint.
from a Mythic Plus perspective, Rising Sun Kick is not something you ever really use, other than to
I use it
enact.
all the time.
Well, yeah, but you only use it to enable your Whirling Dragon Punch. Like it's a
I
single
use
target.
Rising Sun Kick.
It's a single target use or a single target hitting ability. So Rising Sun Kick, um, from everything that I know for Windwalker Monk, you only use you're only supposed to use Rising Sun Kick whenever your Fist of Fury's on cooldown, and using your Rising Sun Kick will allow your Whirling Dragon Punch to go off.
Yeah, or if you have a kill target, you need to get killed fast.
Yeah, if you have priority. If it's mainly for single target though,
Yeah.
for AOE. And again, I'm looking at it all from an AOE perspective. So you go ahead and you go with whatever you think would be best. I'm gonna look at it myself just to see what I think I would go with.
Also, to point out, Serenity makes it so you can spinning Crank Kick whenever for
Um,
increased damage. Like, it has no chi cost and it has no cooldown, so you can just spam it for like 12 seconds.
yeah. No, I would
I don't know how
think so.
strong that'll be,
I'm
but
thinking. So if I'm looking at the Serenity, uh, Fist of Fury is a 24-second cooldown, so you're not gonna get it off again, right?
no, yeah, you won't. You get a 1 charge out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking if from a Mythic Plus perspective, I think Storm, Earth, and Fire would be better. But I think from a raid perspective, I think Serenity is going to be the way to go. Because your Rising Sun Kick is going to be one of your strongest abilities for single target, correct?
Yeah.
So yeah, being able to just cast it over and over and over and over, I think Rising Sun Kick's the way to go, or the Serenity's the way to go for raiding.
Yeah.
I think for Mythic Plus, I think you're going to see Storm, Earth, and Fire still be the primary build. But I could be
Yeah.
completely wrong on that again.
All right. Well, move on.
This next one I do
Um,
like though.
the Meridian Strikes.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big one to
Yes,
get.
because I think where's the talent that uses? Oh yeah, Fatal Touch in the monk class tree, reducing the cooldown by 2 minutes, so it's a 1 minute cooldown, and having the extra damage. I mean, like you can use Touch of Death on one guy in a pack, like every pack or every other pack in Mythic Plus.
Yes, I
It's
agree.
being able to kill them right away is really nice for those like enraged targets or
Yep,
priority targets or something,
yep, I agree. I think reducing the cooldown on that is really strong.
Yeah.
I was always terrible at using Touch of Death. It's one
It's
that's one of the reasons I don't really play Windwalker Monk is that Touch of Death. I always failed to use it properly. I think it was the biggest issue I had.
the issue with it right now is if they're at 35% health, you can use Touch of Death, but it hits for like 20, 30k. But if you wait until they get less health than you, then it kills them instantly.
Right.
So what you do is like you don't Touch of Death someone that hit 35. It's like it's weak. You wait till they get real low, hit your health, and then you use it. Alright, so we got Jade Ignition. Whenever you deal damage to a target with Fist of Fury, you gain a stack of chi energy up to a maximum of 30 stack. Using spinning Crane Kick will cause the energy to detonate in a chi explosion, doing 65% of attack power, damage to all enemies within 8 yards, damage increased by 5% for each stack of chi energy.
I think I'd be taking that one.
Yes, it sounds very good.
Hmm.
There's no AoE cap on it right now, so I think that's really nice as well.
Yep.
And I had to pick it because my favorite ability comes right after it. Strike of the Windlord. Now just read that damage real quick for yourself.
Strike with both fists of the heavens at all enemies in front of you, dealing 933 plus 933% damage, reducing movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. So yes, that looks like a big 40-second
Now,
cooldown, big AoE hit.
now look right below that, Thunder Fist. Read that one.
Strike of the Windlord grants you a stack of Thunder Fists for each enemy struck. Thunder Fist discharges upon melee strikes, dealing 500% of attack power nature damage. So that also looks very strong.
That's just big damage. And Strike the Windlord, no AoE cap at the moment.
Right. Now here's something to think about. We have essentially cut ourselves off from Bone Dust Brew at this point.
Yeah, so if you look at the left side of the tree, it's just tons of spinning crane kick stuff.
Yes,
You got
which
Crane Vortex, Dance GG, Mark of the Crane, Rushing Jade Wind. Like,
yep. Now the spinning crane kick, it's one of those things. Depending on how strong that's going to make spinning crane kick, that could be your Mythic Plus side to build. I just don't know really how strong all that makes spinning crane kick.
yeah.
It just depends on how much buffs it. Yeah, like you said, it's all about spinning crane kick. Um, Spinning crane kick also will refund 1 chi when striking enemies with your Bone Dust Brew. So that's interesting. Um, like I can see that potentially. Again, I'd have to try it and play it out and try it out, but I can see that being very strong for Mythic Plus if it makes that spinning crane kick
Strong
very strong.
enough.
However, I
Yeah.
also see that being a boring play style because it almost seems like you're just gonna be spinning crane kick the entire time. That's it. That's all you're gonna be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You miss out on
yeah,
Jade
it'd be
Ignition,
interesting.
Break the Windlord.
Now, shadow blocking shreds, making blackout kick deal an additional 2 targets. That's nice. I do like that side on there. But no, I think we'll
Yeah.
continue with the side we're on.
Yeah, 'cause I think it's a stronger side right now.
Yeah, I think so. Because you also have your whirling dragon punch on that side, and I think that's a big ability to have, even for AOE.
Yeah.
I
Um.
think the side we're on right now kind of has a rating build, but it has still good AOE.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so we just finished the Jade Ignition and then started Strike of the Windlord. So we go from right to left on that row there.
Yeah. So it's spiritual focus to the left to Strike the Windlord. Every 2 chi you spend reduces the cooldown of Stormwrath and Fire at 1 second. I'm assuming it's going to apply to Serenity as well at some
Yeah, I
point.
was gonna say it probably applies to Serenity as well, because I know the tooltip for
So,
Serenity says it replaces Stormwrath and Fire, so it should apply to that as well.
and that's quite a decent amount of cooldown reduction when you get
Yeah, I like that.
high, a lot of uptime. I see probably bring it down to like, what do you think? Like a minute, 15, minute 10 cooldown, something like that.
Um,
Maybe not that
so
much
Stormwrath and
actually.
Fire is 1.5 minute recharge.
So Serenity.
Yeah, so it depends, because like your Storm, Earth, and Fire, because it's 2 charges, it only is going to reduce 1 charge at a time.
Yeah.
But I still think every 2 chi, I don't know how, I know you spend chi very often, but so yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably going to bring it down to about a minute to a minute 10. Um, a 1 second cooldown, probably about a minute, I'd say, is where it's going to knock it down to.
Yeah. So I think it's good to get. To the left, we have Drinking Horn Cover. Basically extends the duration of Stormwrath and Fire or Serenity by 0.3 seconds every time you cast a Chi Spender. So you can get a lot of stuff out of Serenity. You can probably increase it by like 3 seconds, maybe.
So yeah, 0.3 seconds increase each time you cast Chi Spender.
And
What is it? A
everything's
one
free, so you don't
one
have
and
to
a
worry about
half?
building up.
Yeah. So like if you're just spamming single target Rising Sun Kick, you're gonna get a lot of building up with that.
Yeah.
Storm, Earth, and Fire, uh, you're probably not gonna get quite as much, but it's a 0.4 seconds. So they do kind of compensate by making it an increased um, amount of time that you gain. But no, I think that's pretty strong. I think it's something you're going to want to get no matter what, because it's going to increase the duration of one of your big cooldowns.
Yeah. Um,
Then
to the
inner
left,
peace, yeah, we got inner peace, which increases maximum energy by 10.
which is nice, but
Yeah,
Ascension already does that as well.
all right. Then Dance of Chi-Ji is the one you were talking about earlier. You get
Yes,
the
that's very good.
chance to proc. Again, that's kind of something where I'm looking at. I'm thinking that left side feels like it's supposed to be your AoE build, and the right
Now,
side is supposed to be more single target. But
now we
uh,
have
again,
5 points to spend.
well, and we still got to pick one. Well, I guess we don't have to pick one at the bottom, but yeah, I think Invoke Zuin, you're gonna pick that, right? And
Oh yeah,
That's
for
one of your
sure.
strongest ones.
Yeah,
So right there
it's
in the
really
middle,
strong.
it's the same cooldown as what we've got. Rushing Jade Wind, we don't have access to it right now in this one anyway, but I think you're not gonna take it uh, unless you're going with a full Dance of Chi-Ji build, then it might be worthwhile. Hidden Master's Forbidden Touch. Touch of Death deals 40% increased damage and can be used a second time within 5 seconds before its cooldown is triggered. That's interesting.
It's all right.
It's again, that Touch of Death has been one of the most confusing things for me as far as the monk goes. I've never fully understood how that works. Um,
Yeah.
So we got Teachings of the Monastery. Tiger Palm causes your next Blackout Kick to strike an additional time, stacking up to 3. Blackout Kick has a 15% chance to reset the remaining cooldown on Rising Sun Kick. I feel like especially if you're going for raiding, I think that's a good one to get.
Yeah. I wonder. It says when you use Tire Palm, causes Blackout Kicks to strike an additional time up to 3 times, so you can get to hit 3 times. That's
Well, so what that is it's not that. The way that works is if your Tiger Palm, if it procs and you get your Tiger Palm, then it causes your next one to strike an additional time. If you keep using Tiger Palm before you do it and you get it to proc again, then it's your next 2 blackout kicks. So it'll cause each blackout kick to only strike 1 additional time, but you can stack it up to making it be your next 3 blackout kicks will each strike an additional time. I think that's how that works.
I'm I don't know. It's just Mistweaver as well, but um
Yeah, that's also weird. I don't know if those things are correct or not.
yeah.
I think those might
So
be tool tips from like the way the ability works now, but I don't know.
I personally did not put a point to teaching the monastery at this point.
Gotcha.
I hate to say it because it's not even in the game yet, but hit scheme to get the Dance of Chi I think is the right way to go.
Yeah, I agree. And so then my question to you is, do you go with that hidden Master's Forbidden Touch?
I don't think so.
Okay, so because we still got one more talent to spend, right?
We have 2.
2, all right? Because you didn't get Teachings of the Monastery.
Yeah. I put it the inner piece of the maximum energy because why the hell not?
Okay.
Uh,
So let's go into. I'll tell you what, from a Mythic Plus perspective, I think I'm skipping Inner Peace. I'm taking
okay.
well, I don't have enough. Because what I really want to
Take
unlock
out hit scheme
is
as
that
well.
Shadow Boxing Treads. That's what I really want for a Mythic Plus. If I can get, you have to get the increased radius. So I think I'd go with that, then Marker the Crane, and then Shadow Boxing Treads. I
That
think
puts us at 19. We got an extra point left.
that puts me at 21.
You still get. You can still.
What did you have that I don't or
Let
not
me
have
look at
that
your screen.
because I've got Fist of Fury, Touch of Karma, Ascension, Power Strikes, Flashing Fist, um, Gale Burst, flocks or feathers of 100 flocks, mark of the crane, shadowboxing treads, hit scheme, storm earth and fire, Meridian Strikes, Jade Ignition, Strike of the Windlord, spiritual focus, drinking horn cover, invoke Zuin, dance of Chi-Ji, and then Thunder Fist. But I've spent 21 points. So where is it you haven't spent?
22.
Oh, you're at 22 points?
So if we're looking at the tree, here, maybe can I share my Discord screen? You can see it, or why will that mess with the camera?
Nah, I should be able to do that.
Let me just. It changed my camera.
Okay, so let me see here. That's fine. It's not a big deal. 1, 0, 1. So you're only at 18.
Oh, I took some points out.
Okay, you took hit scheme out, and you don't have shadowboxing treads.
That's all you have that I don't have?
I've got those two. There should be, because I'm at 21, so I got 3 that you don't have.
Do you have Dance of Chi-Ji?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's those 3 are what I've got. All right, so let's pop back
Puts
to
at 21.
This, and now we're back. So yeah, because then that way, now we have that, because that for Mythic Plus, that shadowboxing treads, making your blackout kick hit 2 additional targets
and 50% harder.
Yes, I think that's huge in my opinion.
Yeah.
Again, hit scheme isn't necessary. Although, so actually, we don't need a point in hit scheme.
True.
Because we've unlocked that Dance of Chi-Ji through the other path. So that actually puts us down to 20 points. Because again, if I don't understand why that ability is in there, because we don't have access to Keg Smash as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So yeah, now that we're at 20 points, that gets us exactly what we need.
All right, this is the last section.
Yep.
Which starts off with Crane Vortex, increasing the damage of spraying Crane Kick by 10% up to 20%.
Yep.
Next is Zuin's Bond. Abilities that activate combo strikes reduce the cooldown of Invoke Zuin, the White Tiger, by 0.1 second. And Zuin's damage increased by 10%.
I feel like that's a good one to take, but we'll hold off. Let's finish the rest of this row first and just take a look.
Yeah, so we have Fury of Zuin. Your combo strikes grant the stacking 1% chance for your next expensive Fury to grant 600 haste, and evokes you in the tire for 8 seconds. So your combo strikes can summon a Zuin. That's how it was in Legion. I'm pretty sure it was Legion in BFA, but you had like that a way to summon Zuin was to get
just
stack.
Passively get a proc. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get Power Tire Lightning, so Zuin strikes enemies with a Power Tire Lightning for every 4 seconds. It's only 10% of the damage you dealt to those targets in the last 4 seconds.
Okay.
That's where a lot of the damage comes in from Zuin on AoE pulls when I'm doing Mythic Plus on mine.
Gotcha.
When I pop Zuin, he does a lot of damage when I'm doing AoE, so it's nice. And then we go to the last one, Rising Star. I feel like it's a must for not Mythic Plus, but for PvP and single target encounters.
Yeah, for
Rising
sure.
Star kicks damage increased by 20% with 2 stacks.
Okay, so my question is, looking down below at Rising, the Rising Star, that Phalanx Stomp, Way of the Fae, and Last Emperor's Capacitor. So let me just go over this quick. So Phalanx Stomp, that's what the Fae, the Night Fae ability, right?
Yeah.
All right, so strike the ground fiercely to expose the Phalanx for 30 seconds, dealing 40% of attack power nature damage to up to 5 enemies, and restores health to 5 allies. Your abilities have a 6% chance of resetting the cooldown on it while fighting on a Phalanx. Yeah, it's Phalanx, not Phalanx. I was thinking like a cat. I don't feel like that's necessarily great. Is that a useful ability? Is that something?
What Phalanx Stomp?
Yeah, is that a useful ability? I don't feel like that's really all
I've
that
never
great.
I've never played with it, but with Way of the Fae, it looks like it could be very good in AoE.
Okay. So, Way of the Fae increased the initial damage of Feline Stomp by 21% per target hit by that damage, up to a maximum of 105%. I mean, so yeah, that increases the damage. And then Last Emperor's Capacitor, Chi Spenders increase the damage of your next Crackling Jade Lightning by 100% and reduces cost by 5%, stacking up to 20 times.
But 2,000.
I don't feel like you're gonna use that.
That was a legendary Legion, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and possibly. I don't.
I don't know about it either. I don't see
Yeah,
my.
I
It can get
I
or
personally, from a Mythic Plus perspective, I don't think I'm putting any points in Rising Star. Um,
yeah, I agree.
Now from Raid, possibly that could be very good. PvP. Uh, I don't. So here's my question for PvP. That Last Emperor's Capacitor could
Not good.
be devastating. Well, I feel like that could be ridiculously strong. If you can get it, if you can get the stacks up there. I don't know that you're going to be able to get your stacks built up. Because, yeah, no, if you're doing 2,000% increased damage on Crackling Jade Lightning, I don't know how much damage that is, but that might be a big hit. But I just don't know how often you're going to actually be able to get your stacks built up. Because
Yeah.
you're going to have to get it to you have to use 20 Chi Spenders. I don't see that happening in a PvP setting. But no, I think Rising Star, I think that's great for Raid. Last Emperor's Capacitor is definitely going to be fine for Raid as well. I don't know enough about Feline Stomp, so I don't know if that's really all
Neither
that
do I.
good.
So I'd say put our point into the 3. Zuen's Bond, Zuen, Hard Tire Lightning. Or a
I
couple of those.
mostly agree. The question I would have is looking over at Crane Vortex. So, in order to get Bone
Because
Dust Brew, you have to get Crane Vortex, which means we have to get either the Hidden Master's Forbidden Touch or the Rushing Jade Wind. So the question is then, for Mythic Plus, are we going to skip out on Bone Dust Brew?
I personally think we skip out on Kiefer Skyreap instead.
Well, I'm saying is you have to get to Bone Dust Brew, we got to spend 3 talents on abilities we don't really want. That's the biggest issue I see here, because we got to spend either a Rushing Jade Wind or the Hidden Master's Forbidden Touch. I would, if we go that
I'd go
route,
Rushing Jade Wind.
I would have. See, I was thinking the Hidden Master's Forbidden Touch, but I feel like that would buff your Touch of Death a little bit. But I don't. Again, I don't know. From perspective
Well,
of Windwalker Monk, I don't know.
it's only 40% of what if you don't kill them, right? So if they go below 35% and use it, it's 40% increased damage. Or you just wait till they get lower health and you instantly kill them.
Yeah. So again, I don't know how all that works.
I'm not sure either. I don't know what they're wanting to do
Alright,
with
so
it.
we'll go with Rushing Jade Wind for now.
Yeah,
And
Crane
then
Vortex,
into Crane Vortex,
Bone Dust
and
Brew.
then Bone Dust Brew. Which Bone Dust Brew, we already kind of went over that. It's really good, really good. Bone Marrow Hops. That's the one we got earlier with when we were looking at Brewmaster. It causes the cooldown to reduce, so I think that is definitely, again, we'd want to get that.
For Windwalker, she increases the damage by 40%, makes it 80% effectiveness.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
That's
it's
big.
Well, it's actually it makes that's what I'm saying. That one is the one we'd want to get for sure, because we got that with Brewmaster as well. And then Calculated Strikes, spinning Crane Kicks bonus from striking union. I don't know if that's necessarily all that great.
I would need Calculated Strikes. I'd go with Bone Marrow Hops.
Well, you can go with you can take both. Like, you don't have to choose one or the other.
Well, I'm thinking of going into Invoker's Delight.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we go to the other side. I don't think we get Calculated Strikes. Just at all.
I see 4 right away we need, and we have 5 points left.
All right, so
I'd start off with Empowered Tire Lightning.
All right.
You want Whirling Dragon Punch?
Yep, I agree.
Then you want Invoker's Delight. So it's between Transfer the Power and Zwin's Battle Gear.
And
Now
transfer the
transfer.
power
Yeah, go
increases
ahead.
the damage dealt by your next Fist of Fury by 3%, stacking up to 10 times. I like that. And then what does the battle gear do? Rising Sun Kick, critical strikes reduce the cooldown of Fist of Fury by 5 seconds. When Fist of Fury ends, the critical strike chance of Rising Sun Kick is increased by 50% for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So I'm torn on that. I don't know if I would want to be. I think.
Realistically, we can still get both if we really wanted to. There's 3 points left.
Gotcha. Now see, here's the question though, man. All right, so key for Skyreach
This is the
causes
last.
Tiger Palm to have a 10-yard range and dashes you to the target when used, and then it applies an effect which increases your critical strike chance by 50% for 6 seconds on the target.
It's a 1 minute cooldown. It's a PvP
And it lasts for
legendary
6.
I use right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, as I say, I don't know if I necessarily care for that for Mythic
Yeah.
Plus. Not yet implemented one. Who knows? I don't. Who knows what that's gonna be.
Yeah.
So I would say, um, so yeah, I think I definitely want the battle gear because I like that Rising Sun Kick will reduce the cooldown of Fist of Fury.
Yeah.
I think I definitely go with that and get that Invoker's Delight. Now the question then is, we have.
Do we want to go back for Open Palm Strikes for Fist of Fury damage? Or you put in Rising Star
Nah.
for this.
What I'm looking at is no. So I'm looking at either Fury of Zwin, Zwin's Bond, or that Transfer the Power. One of those 3 I think is where I would want to put it at.
Where's Transfer the Power?
That's the one that Blackout Kick and Rising Sun Kick increases the damage dealt by your next Fist of Fury by 3%. So you can get up to 30% increased damage on Fist of Fury. I'm trying to decide. I think I would rather have that because I think you're gonna get more out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Fury of Zwin, I feel like you're not gonna get. It's a stacking 1% chance. I still think I'm gonna go with Transfer the Power. Let's make basically with this build, it's all about your Blackout Kick is going to hit 2 additional targets, so that's big. Your Fist of Fury is going to do 30% damage increase potentially, and then your Rising Sun Kick is also going to reduce that cooldown. So more Fist of Fury, more powerful Fist of Fury. Your Blackout Kick hits additional targets, and you still have your Dance of Chi Ji thing. The procs and all the increased damage. Now, Mark of the Crane. What is Mark of the Crane? Because I think we kind of spinning. I didn't really look at this super closely. So, it says it's an ability. So spin while kicking in the air. Deals reduced damage. Spinning cranes. Okay, so spinning crane kicks damage is increased by 18% for each unique target you struck in the last 20 seconds with Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, or Rising Sun Kick. So here's
it's live right now.
Oh, okay, that's an ability you already have.
Yeah.
So what about shadowboxing treads? How does that work with shadowboxing treads? If you hit the additional 2 targets, does that count as 3 targets being hit?
Yeah, that brings me to my question. Do you think it works with Transfer the Power as well? So Blackout Kick and Sunrise Kick increase damage dealt by next Fist of Fury.
Um,
Do you think it stacks 3 times when you hit 3 people?
that's a good question. So I'm asking. So is shadowboxing treads? Is that something that we have now?
No,
Okay, so that's a new ability. So yeah,
I think so.
I I think it definitely works with Mark of the Crane. I don't know if it works for Transfer the Power, because Mark of the Crane is all about unique enemies that have been hit with Tiger
Yeah,
Palm. So if Tiger Palm hits 3 people, then that should hit 3 people. Or
yeah.
Blackout Kick, I mean, Blackout Kick should hit 3 people. So I think that counts for that one. However, Transfer the Power just says that when you use Blackout Kick or Rising Sun Kick, then it increases the damage dealt. So I don't know that that would count as being hit with 3 targets. I think it's literally just the uses.
Yeah.
Um, but I think in Mythic Plus you're going to use Blackout Kick quite a bit when you don't have if your Whirling Dragon Punch is on cooldown and your Fist of Fury is on cooldown. I think you're going to be using.
Blackout Kick instead of Rising Sun
Well,
Kick.
I do think you're going to use Rising Sun Kick on cooldown, just for the simple fact that every time you use it, it reduces your Fist of Fury by 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So I think you're still going to use that, but yeah, I think you're. I think you're going to get decent uptime from Transfer of Power, but I'm kind of wondering if. So what's the cooldown on Rising Sun Kick? What is that? Like an 8-second cooldown, isn't it?
8.7.
Rising Sun Kick. That doesn't tell me what it is. All right, but you said it's 8.7, or
Yeah.
is it adjusted by your haste?
I would assume so. So probably 9-second cooldown.
That would
I
make
only have
sense.
I only have 15% haste, so
It's weird. I'm not seeing. It's not showing a cooldown listed for it on the website. No, I think my WoW's messed up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe Transfer the Power. I'd have to see how it plays, um, how it actually plays out, but I don't know if you can get that increased damage all the way up to, like, I don't know if you're going to get 10 Blackout Kicks and Rising Sun Kicks before you use your Fist of Fury. Because
yeah.
Fist of Fury is a 24-second cooldown, but if you use your Rising Sun Kick, let's say it's an 8-second cooldown. If you use Rising Sun Kick, you're going to be able to use that 3 times, realistically 2 with the cooldown reduction. So Fist of Fury is going to drop to a 14-second cooldown. Are you going to get 10 Rising Sun Kicks and Blackout Kicks in those 14 seconds? I don't think you are.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So then my question would be, if we don't go with that one, do you go Fury of Zwin? Do we go with Zuin's Bond? Because I think that's the next step, is to increase one of those two.
I'll go with Fairy Zuen, to be honest.
That's kind of what I was leaning towards too. Because the cooldown reduction is only 0.1 seconds. It's not a ton. So yeah, I would like to have the chance to get him for 8 seconds and get the haste.
Yeah,
So I think that's what I'm going with.
same. Alright, that's the Windwalker tree.
Yep.
Went through it. When I first went through it by myself, I briefly skimmed through it. I did not think I was gonna get Bone Dust Brew and Invoker's Delight, so I went with Invoker and Kiefer. But I'm glad that we went through it again, because I was like, I didn't look at it long enough to really get an idea.
Right.
But I do think Bone Dust Brew with Bone Marrow Hops is going to be really strong with the Invoker's Delight Lust from Summoning Jun. I'm
Agreed.
thinking I'm thinking Evoker's Delight we'll get when we use Fairy's Wind as well when a Proxy Tiger. I'm sure we get the lust from that as well,
Gotcha.
which would be nice.
Yeah. I think we'll hold off on doing the Mistweaver one.
Yeah, maybe get some keys in now.
Yeah. That, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting whatever cold my family's had. My throat feels like it's sore, but it could also be from mowing. So.
All right.
But yeah, no, we'll
All right.
jump into some keys.